I mean, this is a really special panel that holds a lot of sentimental value. And of course, they're, of course, for comic relief too. I mean, we've got the amazing team of Khichdi too joining us here on filmishilmy.com. So a warm welcome to all of you. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We love being here with you.
Yeah.
Oh,
And we
pleasure is
love being here
always
with
ours.
the Indians, Asians of UK. Yeah.
Absolutely. In fact, JD sir, I know Khichdi 2 is set to have a very huge release here in the UK as well. So if you'd like to give some details on that, that'll be wonderful.
Oh, yes. For the first time, see, unfortunately, we couldn't release the first Khichdi in UK. But this time, we made it a point and we actually insisted that our Khichdi, because we have always found huge fan following all over the world. The franchise has actually traveled across the border, and UK always has been a very, very special place. તમે મારા કોઈ interview જોશો ને, in my interview I've always said UK is one of my most favorite places. In fact,
mine too.
London is always favorite of all of us. And because the place itself, the culture is so much. You all have actually, Bollywood has second leg in London, if you call that. So many films, and your government has always encouraged the industry so much, so well, that we produce so many films there. So it's one of the it's a Bollywood favorite destination. So we said, why not there? And that's why we are here with Khichdi. We have, see, because usually Khichdi is a franchise which has created a world record, which of course the audience will know. But if they have not, we would like to share. It's the longest running comedy in the world.
Wow.
It started as a play, 1995, and then we made into TV show, then one more series of TV show, then a movie in 2010. Then because then there was a web series wave, then we made a web series in 2018. And here, because people are constantly asking us that when are you getting Khichdi back? When are you getting Khichdi back? So here we are. This is purely by public demand. We are coming with this Khichdi too. And London, as we were coming to the topic, is we have around 10 screens in London.
Wow.
So there'll be a lot of shows, 10 screens, and we have more shows in one screen.
Wow.
So we are at
amazing.
Cineworld Feltham. London must 7 છે. So Cineworld Feltham, Cineworld Hounslow, Cineworld Ilford, Cineworld
Ilford.
Ilford.
Yeah.
Oh!
Hey.
Ruislip.
Oh!
Hey!
My
Cineworld
Oh,
Wembley. We always say, oh! Cineworld Wandsworth. You Croydon Grants. You Croydon Grants. Sorry for our pronunciation. Amel jara.
It's Royce.
All right.
All right.
It works. In Manchester also we are coming for the Asian audiences.
Wow.
Oh,
You
amazing.
Star City Birmingham
Okay.
and Piccadilly, Leicester.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
All-time favorite place for all of us.
All of us, yes.
Yeah.
So, what has happened? Okay, unfortunately, that because of certification has taken a little time, and because it was a little delayed decision, because till you don't get the certification censor, you cannot actually decide the dates in the cinema halls and everything. So we just late થઈ ગયા છે અમે. So we will be releasing it. આજે વાત કરીએ છે Friday 17th ના તમારે ત્યાં દિવાળીની extended છૂટીના weekendમાં આવી રહ્યું છે. So what you all have to do is, not only once you get to hear about it, try and go to the YouTube and see the teaser to mind-blowing songs which have already crossed millions of views, and see the trailer. આપણે આમ કહીએ ને કે ચાખીને લેવા માટે, you don't get to taste anything there. You order, but this one you can taste through the teaser, the trailer, and 2 songs, and then go and decide. But at the same time, તમે કમ્યુનિટીમાં કેવું એકબીજાને, how you all inform each other that this is what happening, that is happening, India થી આ આવે છે, Indian, this is it. So please be part of the Khichdi team and see to it you are a brand ambassador of Khichdi there. You just need to inform friends, you just need to inform relatives, you just need to inform colleagues, and you need to inform each and every person whom you want to make happy. You love somebody, please tell them, because they will laugh and they will give you blessings. Please tell them to come to the theater. Thodu direct marketing kari રહ્યા છીએ, because we have realized that we are little late. Over to you.
That's all right. No, well, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for that. And I'm sure our viewers will be very excited to watch the film. But as I mentioned in my introduction, Khichdi does have such a huge sentimental value. And if you think about it, I mean, it's been almost 2 decades, more than 2 decades since the show actually went on air. It's been 13 years since the last film had released. Um, Obviously, what I find very fascinating about all of you as actors, and of course, Aatish, sir, you as a director, is that see, you all have moved on in life. You know, you things have happened, experiences have gone on, but yet when you revisit your characters, they're still there. They're still stuck in that same time. Of course, storyline moves on, but how do you find that confidence and that courage, perhaps, to revisit that character despite you moving on as individuals? I think if we begin with Anang sir, and then we'll just go all the way around to Rajiv sir. Yeah.
Well, the characters for all of us are within us. We have grown in these characters, and it's a pleasure to be back and doing the same role with a lot of freshness in it. And Aatish just fine tunes us into it, and it's a pleasure doing it again and again.
Vandana ma'am?
Yeah, I think almost all the answers will be the same. And I would like to add one more thing that, Khichdi has always been part of us, you know. And as soon as maybe we change the clothes and all, it gets into us. And हम के अंदर वो ऐसे बोलते हैं ना कि आंग में आ गया, हमारे body में आ गया. So it's like, you get into the character and all. And it's like the innocence of all the characters is the same, only that it has become now the grand, and I think there is that much difference only. Otherwise, we all are the same.
Sir?
You know what? Like how you prepare for a World Cup final, because now you are a very popular. Your characters already entertain billions, not millions. I would say just travel across all countries. Wherever there is an Indian, he or she will know about Khichdi. They will be in love with Khichdi. So when you prepare for this particular character, the responsibility and the joy that you are on your favorite pitch, and the same time the responsibility is you have to win the final, because you have to win so many hearts. There is a kind of a promise and the kind of expectation. So this gives us a challenge, and this challenge brings out the best from us. And every moment, and because we know, so we have played it, we entertain people so, and it's like we already have a relation with people. So it is a great excitement level than any other character I would ever play. To play Himanshu is always special. To make you all laugh, it's always very exciting. And in the process, we all laugh so much that life is completely that's why we've been able to look so young and the way we were in 2002.
Sure. I mean, it was interesting because just before the interview, we were talking about Hansa's character and how she never has any deficiency in her. I think, Supriya ma'am, what would you like to talk about playing that character and revisiting her again?
Yeah, I think most of it is basically what happens is you are a little nervous when you just started playing Hansa again, because we need to bring back the innocence of Hansa. We need to keep her intact because she's loved by all. So that is like a challenge to you. But more important than anything is that the motivation for us, for me especially as an actor, is that I'm going to make my audience happy. I'm going to give so much laughter and so much happiness to my audience, especially in these times of, all this tension and all. To come up with this idea of making this as a film and coming across to our audiences was more like give them a happy relief, give them something that, they can really look forward to and make them feel that life is beautiful, and that's what I think Khichdi always has done all over the, over all the period of time that we've been playing Khichdi. We've always, I've heard when I was everywhere that I go and everywhere that everybody has been telling me that, when we get depressed, when we get stressed, we put on one episode of Khichdi, we see this scene of Khichdi, we do this, and we feel happy and fresh and really elated again. So that is what I think Khichdi has done, and that's what we are hoping to do this time in a much larger way and much more, and make everybody laugh and give pleasure and, you know, give happiness to people. That's what my motto has been whenever we've done Khichdi.
Absolutely. And I think one of the biggest key, I think, to comedy for me has to be the writing. I mean, that's always the backbone. I think Aatish sir is not only, of course, a wonderful director, but his writing has always been marvelous. You know, I mean, whether it's just this film or whether it's, you know, even the other hats of production shows that I've loved, whether it's Babu Baby, Ek Packet of Meat, your writing has always really stricken a chord with the audiences. So I think here, when planning a very huge adventure comedy for Khichdi 2, what sort of factors did you sort of consider when, I guess, placing your pieces on set and getting everyone ready for it?
So one thing was very clear in my mind that the script this time should be a little more zany. It should lend itself naturally to the big screen, and it should be because technologically we've grown, and since the past so many years. So if the audience is to, and especially after the pandemic that we saw, there's been a kind of a miserable moment that everybody's faced, and there's been sadness all around. So to bring them to the cinema house, you have to provide them with a little plus. So this Khichdi 2, when the script was formulated, I read it out to JD, and JD said, this is a film. It cannot be a web series. It cannot be anything else. This is a film. The vision is a film. So if the audiences, when they'll go to the cinema houses, they'll realize what we mean by, the plus factor. And that is what, as a writer and a director, I've tried to, through them, I would call them my Joker doctors. How you talked about moving on. Like, there are people who play Joker doctors in real life. They have other professions. They've got other things to do. But in the evening, they go to the children's ward and they become a clown and they make everybody laugh. This is what my characters do. This is what I love about my characters and these actors who become Joker doctors. Everybody has got so much work to do in their lives. Other shows, other films, other things, theater. But when it comes to Khichdi, they all don the Joker doctors.
But I love this explanation that we are all Joker doctors.
Yeah.
I'm very happy being a Joker doctor.
Yeah. And all the sadness vanishes.
Yeah.
And it's just those 2 hours. It's after those 2 hours, trust me, Anuj, when what happens with Khichdi is, and that's the joy that I get, that when they step out like this. Then they'll eat. They'll eat with joy, and while eating, they'll discuss it with even more joy, and they'll sleep. They'll sleep well. If these 5 people and the other actors who are there, there's a lot more in this Khichdi. There are a lot more actors, fantastic actors. When together, they can bring joy, peace, and good sleep in somebody's life. What more can one want? So that is what Khichdi is going to do this time. That's my firm belief.
So beautifully put, honestly. That was so wonderful. But I think Praful, is one of the most hilarious characters. The moment he says Mehuna, trouble is cooking. Mischief is definitely on its way. Not that he intentionally wants to cause it. But I think for you, Rajeev sir, for you to revisit, and I think also given your experience of working with Hats Off Production, because you've also played Mota Bhai and Babu Hor Baby, who was obviously a lot more stern, quirky in his own way, but here Praful was a complete 360 degree.
Let me put it this way. Now, in future, if I want to work with some others or for some other production house, it is going to be very difficult for me. Yeah. Because this is a very comfortable zone, where I'm as an actor very comfortable, and I work very freely and very with ease,
I like this whole idea and concept that Aatish said about Dr. Jokers, you said. I really find that very fascinating because, I feel like jo logo ko hasate hain, sometimes it's also very difficult for them as well because they, a doctor also sometimes needs healing. Sometimes they also need treatment as well. And I would love to know a bit more, if we can, a bit more in depth about your journeys as well, because I feel sometimes life isn't as hunky dory. I'm sure when you guys came on set of Khichdi, there must have been times which might have been tough, but yet you'd had to go and do your job as performers, as entertainers. How does one necessarily put aside that grief, or maybe even use that grief and translate that into humor on set? I would love to know the process. Again, we'll go through the. Actually, Rajiv sir, we'll begin with you, and we'll go the other way around. So, Rajiv sir, we'll begin with you first.
Because I'm Praful's character is, I think, into the skin of my character. So the character is, I'm sorry, the character is in my skin altogether. So
No.
it's not very much difficult for me to portray Praful, and I actually forget all my worries and botherations and problems of life,
Right.
because Aatish's forte is well-etched characters in his films or television show. So Aatish's
Sir,
pattern of
explain I can't seem to see you very much.
Atish's pattern of writing, style of writing, is a great help to the actors. So I mean, enjoying a lot doing Praful's character.
Right. I mean, emotional. I think Khichdi. I think maybe in the initial episodes, I remember seeing that there was a bit of an emotional sort of scene, especially when it came to the dynamics between
First 5 episodes,
Yes.
yeah.
Initial episode.
Jayashree and Hansa. I remember that very well. But I think if there's anyone who has really understood emotional content very well, again, Aatish, it is you. So please, if you could again talk about that mission that you managed to have done with that whole emotional, sentimental, and comedic value as well, that would be wonderful.
So if I will cut straight to Khichdi to Mission Paanthukistan.
Please,
You
yes.
see, what we've done this time is that although they are, you see, to me in my head, all these people, they are spoiled, mischievous brats. But they are not. They're like we had Hot Stuff and we had the Regimantles. If we can speak about them. So they are mischievous, rotten, spoiled brats who can't do without each other, and they can't stay with each other. Can't stay without each other. They squabble, they fight, but they're together. So they're like children who are out, during the school break. And how it's like for those few minutes, they just turn everything topsy turvy. Now, in Khichdi 2, in Mission Paanthukistan, what we've tried to do is not only are they going to turn the whole mission upside down, we've created a fantasy world, a wonderland called Paanthukistan. It's going to be a wonderland, especially for children. They'll see a different world, a world that has never been seen anywhere, because the world has its own customs, the world has its own rules, regulations, and clothing, and some bizarre things. How these people go over there with no actual motivation. It's just that their headmaster, the trainer, has told them to go and do something. But when they reach there, they turn that whole world upside down, but accidentally. They turn it into a much more beautiful world than it was. So it's a miserable world which turns into a wonderland. If you see Nach Nach song, you'll see it's a wonderland. But that wonderland was not that before these people entered that place. So that journey itself was so fascinating. And the audience will take away something this time. Not only will they get a lot of joy, but some clever ones will say, oh, they made a point. Oh, this time the Khichdi family is, there's a takeaway. There's something that, apart from being happy and joyous and, full of fun, we are going to take something which is going to stay with us and make us think. They are doing it out of their innocence, but the outcome is something that the audience will, it'll stay with the audiences. And like you said, on the set, yes, we do have our worries. But like I said, this time, Khichdi 2 was a wonderland. The moment we would come together, be it Gujarat, Bhuj, and Mandvi, or our set at Film City, or the palaces, etc., or Canary Caves, or wherever, the moment we used to shoot, like we lost a fraternity member, and we were shooting. Mr. Satish Kaushik passed away. We got the news, and Supriya ji was pretty, close. But then we had to shoot, and Farah ji was there with us. So we were like feeling very bad for that gentleman. But then the moment it was like, okay, we have to roll, that wonderland took over. And once the wonderland of Khichdi to Paanthukistan took over, everybody forgot it, and everybody just went into their character and had a blast. So that blast is what the audience, I think, and I don't think, I'm very sure will have while they watch it. And there's a little takeaway, like I said. this time
Hmm.
in Mission 2, Mission Paanthukistan Khichdi 2.
Yeah, Supriya, I'd love to know your perspective on that because I know it must have been very tough for you to really, at that sort of a situation to really come on and get
But
on with
again,
things.
as normally one says that, when we are given a script and you worked on the script, you have to be in any state. As an actor, that's the take that we have to do is
Right.
whatever your personal life, whatever your personal worries, whatever your issues outside could be, when you are working on a set, you have to perform regarding the character that you are performing and feel exactly what the director or the producer or the writer wants you to feel. So we as actors are somewhere trained for that. I mean, we are in that. So nothing really personal life at that time when there is the camera goes action, everything just gets wiped out. So that's how we've always worked. And it's when the director says cut, maybe things do come back to us. That is a possible, but because we are human. But as actors, we've been trained to kind of switch on and switch off very easily. So that is a forte. But yes, but saying that, I mean, for Hansa, I think the happiness that I feel while performing, she's like, I always have said, she's like a medicine for me also. When I'm stressed, when I'm feeling uncomfortable about something, I usually used to call up JD and Aatish and say, let's do khichdi, let's perform khichdi. I feel better. So, it's like a remedy for me also as a person. So I enjoy doing her so much that it doesn't really bother me as to what my mental state at that time personally could be. I get into her much nicer, in a nicer way, because she's great. I love her, so she's there with me all the time.
Sure. JD, sir?
For me, this has been one of the best learning journey ever in my life, because this is our first time. It's a film which is a solo production. We are only producing it. And the responsibilities which I have, the way Aatish writes and, he has the responsibility direction, I handle the producer's job. But now I'll take it in flashback a little bit. You know what's happened? Why I just recall that how this role switch over. For me, one particular phase was like in 36 hours or 48 or some hours. What a journey it was. They were shooting for a song in Switzerland for this film Vandaraka. We shot in Switzerland. I traveled from there. I just went to we completed the shooting. Next morning, I was like early morning flight. I flew to Switzerland. Okay. Shot this song. Ekdam thandi, like in one incident, I would say, एक छोकरी रड़ी ने तो एनो आंसू यहाँ बर्फ बनी गेलो. એટલી ઠંડીમાં I genuinely and we shot the song. રાતના ત્યાંથી પછી song પત્યું એ રાતના નીકળી flight લીધી next day early morning. I came home around 4:35, 7 o'clock shift. I was reporting at Canary Coast. And not only that, during this entire journey, we have two shows which are doing very well in UK on air, Wagli Ki Duniya and Pushpa Impossible.
Yes, of course. Yes.
I am at the same time watching the episodes wherever I get the time, giving the creative feedback. So agani script વાંચું છું so that we don't have a traveling માં flight માં આ બધું કરતા duty બીજી કહું. જ્યારે અહીંયા આવ્યો 7 વાગ્યાની શિફ્ટમાં biggest ઘટના મારા ભાણેજના લગ્નની દિવસે, એટલે મારી વાઈફનો સગ્ગો ભાણેજ કેનેડાથી 7 દિવસ માટે આવેલો એના લગ્નની દિવસે, અને સાથે સાંજે અમારી હેપી ફેમિલીનો પ્રીમિયર. As a producer, I had to manage everything. અને આ શું થાય, રોલ એક મિનિટ સીન કરો ફરા જોડે, આ મેસેજ, આ ફોન, ઊંઘ થઈ જ નથી. સવારે લંચ અવરમાં કેનેરી કેસ્યુ ગયો, લંચમાં એ જ મારા ખાલી કપડા બદલ્યા, દોડીને ત્યાં ગયો, આઈ હેડ લંચ, પાછો શૂટમાં આવ્યો, શૂટમાં સીન કર્યો, ત્યાંથી સાંજે પેકઅપ થયું, એ ભાગો હેપી ફેમિલીના પ્રોડ્યુસર તરીકે જવાબદારી કેટલી, પ્રીમિયર તમે કરો એટલે લોકો તો તમારે ગાંડા થઈ જાવ, મીડિયા આ તે એ સંભાળ્યું, રાતના પાછો ગયો, બીકોઝ આઈ હેડ ટુ મેક ઇટ કે મારી વાઈફને કે કોઈને એવું ના લાગે. તો હું દુલ્હા દુલ્હન એ લોકો જોડે બેઠા, રાતના ડિનર લેવા પાછો ગયો, 12, 1 વાગ્યા. નેક્સ્ટ મોર્નિંગ પાછું 7 વાગ્યાથી શૂટ, બટ કેનેરી કેવ્સ અને સાંજે. બટ ધીસ જર્ની, અને આમાં બધું બીજું કામ ચાલે, પુષ્પા ને વાગલે એ અટકે નહીં. ચલો હવે આનું કહેવાનું કારણ કહું, બટ આ છે ને, આ કેમ મેં આટલો પ્રસંગ આ રીતે, why I did tell you, why I shared with you. When we are doing ખીચડી છે ને, it gives us that energy to survive it all.
Sure.
We can, we have God gives us a blessing and a capacity. Why? Because as I said, કે ખીચડીમાં અમે આટલો પણ કોમ્પ્રોમાઇઝ ન કરી શકીએ. We have to give it our best. અને એની ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટી જ્યારે મળે ને, we all grab it for everything. Why? Because જે આપણે વાત કરી ને કે અમે કેમ we don't look બધા અમારા અવતારમાં જ છીએ. Because we make people laugh, we laugh, and when a person laughs, એની ઉંમર છે ને અટકાઈ જાય, એની એનર્જી વધી જાય. અને you always, ડોક્ટર પહેલા શું કહે છે, એક કામ કરો, પહેલા હસો, સ્ટ્રેસ ફ્રી રહો, તમારા સ્ટ્રેસ ને લીધે જ કોલેસ્ટ્રોલ થી માંડીને બીજી 50 બીમારી છે. So that energy roll switch over, switch on, આમ તેમ આમ બદલાતા બધી એનર્જી થઈ રહે when you are shooting for ખીચડી.
But I want to say one thing here, that they have named their company perfectly. Hats off.
Yeah.
To JD and Aatish. Only they can do this. I mean, honestly.
No, definitely. I think everyone who I've interviewed and spoken with, whether it's Amit, Lubna, everyone has always said that the sort of environment that's created is so feel good and you genuinely enjoy the process. And I can feel the vibe too. I remember when I did a live with JD sir in lockdown, I felt that, and I'm so glad to hear that Khichdi 2 has also been the same. But I think one thing about Jayashree that I really find fascinating, that of course she has her quirks. She's also quirky in her way, but she's gone through a lot in life. There's a lot in a way. She's quite a strong lady if you actually think about it. So when it comes to her sort of making the decisions, perhaps she did in the first film and now in sort of Paanthukistan, again, for you to get into that mind frame and again that balance, ji aapne kahi chhe, balance rakhwano ke she's strong, but at the same time she manages to adapt to the quirkiness of the family, but yet also address it at the same time. How do you as an actor manage to encompass all of that, Vandana ma'am?
See, I personally feel the whole credit goes to Aatish and JD for keeping so much faith in me. First and foremost. Secondly, yes, of course, it's a very difficult character. Like on the edge. I mean, if thoda idhar udhar, then it becomes like a villain. The character of Jayashree, she goes like, I mean, कौन बोलता है कि बाबूजी को जहर दे दो, हाँ 2 मिनट रुक जाओ, पहले चक्के तो देखो आपकी चाय, अगर कम पड़ता है तो फिर बोलना,
फेंकती है
ससुर को फेंक देती है, अलग अलग जगह निकालती है and all. Definitely, this character has been like, I mean, it's my favorite character. I love her very much. And when we started doing this film, because I was not there in the first film, it was all the more very difficult for me, So I was all the time asking Aatish whether I'm going correct, because I don't want to go overboard. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि भाई it should not look like too much कर रहे हैं, या perfect वो fine tune करने के लिए proper. So yeah, initially it was little, but then like it is, once you start doing it, then it gets into your everyday you're shooting. So once you are into the character, then it automatically you become one. And as I said that Jayashree is me, like I mean, once I am in the attire and we are together and reading dialogues, and so it is like it comes to you naturally.
In fact, we are having a FOMO. કે હવે આ બધું પકવાવ્યું, આ 2 દિવસ છે, આ કોસ્ચ્યુમ એકાદ બીજું કઈ કરશું તો કરશું, બટ પછી 5 past in this, એને વાર તો લાગશે ને. But that is what happens when we do khichdi, that we all want to do this, that excitement, that we want to give all our, everything to khichdi.
You will not believe, abhi, talking about this film, people are going crazy कि भाई आ रही है film, we are going to watch, and after that they are saying कि अच्छा 3 कब आएगी, ये देख लो, उसके बाद 3 आ जाएगी. So that is the craze, and we are also fan of khichdi, so हमारा भी वही craze है खिचड़ी के लिए.
Of course.
Yeah, one as an actor, one is equipped as a trained actor, one is equipped to get into a role and get out of it and leave your worries behind. That is, of course, very sure. But the environment on the sets, the writing that Aatish creates, and the way he guides us, it's pure joy. And so it makes all of us more comfortable, very easy to get into our roles. In spite of our worries, I'll mention two incidents. One is, of course, as Aatish mentioned, our close friend, he was my classmate as well, Satish's death, which happened while we were shooting, and we had to be getting into our characters. And secondly was while one day, which was the last day of shoot on that particular location, and while I was going for my shooting, my driver suddenly collapsed on
While
road,
driving.
while driving
On the highway.
on the highway,
Oh
and
God.
eventually died. So that was, and then one took him to the hospital. Lot of formalities had to be completed, and this happened all of a sudden. So I was very shaken because it happened so suddenly. But yet one had to go to the sets and complete the shooting and do a very funny scenes. Khichdi has all funny scenes. So, but the environment there again, they made me very comfortable, and one could do things. So these kind of things do happen. But as I said, the environment on the sets, thanks to JD and Aatish, plus his guidance is so good that we are able to get into it and forget everything else, leave behind everything and get into our roles.
So thank you so much, Anand sir, for sharing that. I think a final question is that right now, if we see, nostalgia has become such a huge sellable commodity at the box office. I think half the films that have done well, not just in India but internationally also, it's because there has been some sort of nostalgic recall value, and of course, Khichdi 2 promises to offer all of that. Aatish sir and JD sir, how confident do you feel about nostalgia being, a very huge, also, major factor of this sort of a film?
I'm very confident. If you are relating that nostalgia getting transformed into the audiences coming and Khichdi being, getting successful. The reason is, see, that sequel always has two, one responsibility and one advantage. Because right now there are expectation level which is very high from Khichdi 2, and we know that the kind of product we have made, it can match, because it started as a sitcom which was shot in one room, which they loved so much.
Yeah.
But today we have kept in mind that why this movie, when Aatish told you, when he told me about the subject, and we were almost asked to make a web series, I said, nahi, aani apne picture જ બનાવશું. Because man to picture ની story મળે છે ખીચડીમાંથી. Otherwise તો there is a મુદ્દા, એક episode બની જાય, there is a long story, એ થઈ જાય. I said, આનું picture જ બનાવાય, અને we will produce it very well. Web series માં બી એકવાર બને. Why? Because we knew it, that this has the promise to, have a big, huge, આપણે મોટા પડદાનો અનુભવ. Today now cinema is being called as an experience. When you say nostalgia, I would say experience. So today people go to cinema halls for experience, and otherwise we knew they can watch it on TV, on OTT, which they will eventually second, third, fourth, fifth, 50th time. But first is the experience. So adventure comedy, then the kind of locals it required, then the kind of other casting apart from all, then the entire look, then every aspect of making it, and the promotion and the reaching out to release internationally. So, and the right time, everything, if you see, we have we have a chain of plan, and everything is fitted right now so well. And we are very, because of that, we organized on it. તમે પ્રિપેર કર્યો. જેમ ઇન્ડિયા અત્યારે એક પછી એક 9 મેચ જીતી છે. It's just they're 2 matches away from the World Cup.
બિલકુલ.
What we have prepared ourselves. That's why we took Diwali. કે દિવાળીમાં મોટી પિક્ચરો બી આવે. And we said, so what? Our films is as big as far as the expectation and the love of people are concerned. Audiences have given love so much. Only what we had to do is, we had to have a good script, we had to execute it well, we had to see the film barabar bani che, which we have seen. And we are very confident of the product.
And we needed to reach out to people, which is what we are also getting.
અને છે ને લાઈન થી તમે પ્રોડક્શન, અમારું પ્રમોશન્સ જોશો ને, હમણાં એક આબા લાસ્ટ એડ કરું. Lately films have produced and they've made promotions big time, only 3-4 weeks promotions. We have been actually promoting Khichdi since past more than 8 weeks.
Wow.
There's no film up. તમે you'll see now big films only. Like Donkey, Shahrukh has started 2 months. We started our promotion first week of September, or maybe a little prior to that. Our first date announcement, that MRI joke, it had come in November ma discuss first week of September ma આવી ગયેલો. તો over 10 weeks નું promotion અને regularly કર્યું. So why આટલો લાંબો જવાબ? Because we want to convey it to the audiences in US and wherever your this video travels, that we are very confident of the product. We have a very well made product on hand, and you will feel wow, क्या बात है, બે song એટલે છે એમાં એક international. તો સ્વિટ્ઝરલેન્ડ માં જઈને song shoot કરવાનું ખીચડીમાં લોકો વિચારે કે, but you will see, because we wanted to give that kind of a promise, that kind of value for money, that kind of entertainment. Naach જે અમે પહેલા બોલ્યા, you see the song, they have never seen khichdi characters dancing so well. So we all have danced so well, which people are every aspect, every frame, wherever we've got a little space, we have made it a point કે આને મનોરંજનના entertainment બધા રસથી ભરી દો.
I would just like to add, Anuj, that you see, I would say that we are all very confident that once the audience comes into the cinema hall, they'll slowly get into the wonderland and laugh their guts out. That confidence we all have. The confidence that we also are entrusting with the audiences, it is up to them to come to us. See, it is one thing to say खिचड़ी क्यारे लाओ छो, खिचड़ी कब आ रही है, खिचड़ी कब आ रही है, लेकिन जब आई है तो अब हमारा कॉन्फिडेंस हमारी ऑडियंस में है कि वो आएगी. हमको भी जो है दिवाली में ये बड़ी फिल्म है और फैमिली के साथ जाना चाहिए, ये सोच करके थिएटर्स में आएगी, वो हमारा कॉन्फिडेंस है, लेकिन ऑडियंस की इट इज देयर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. Only then can we continue with the franchise. Otherwise, we will, keep on doing our hard work, and audience will say, nice. When are you coming with 3? No. First, you all have to make sure that you all go to the cinema houses, because once you go there, we can guarantee you a fabulous 2 hours. It's a 2-hour absolute roller coaster ride, full of joy, fun, and for that, we want the audiences to, entrust their confidence in us and come throng the cinema houses.
We reciprocated their love, made khichdi on their demand. Now it's again their turn. Now their turn. If they reciprocate and makes the khichdi film is to be good, they have to like it. We are very sure. They will, but એ લોકો ને નહીં ગમે તો ત્રીજી નહીં બનાવી. પણ બીજી આટલું કીધું, તમે લોકો એટલો પ્રેમ આપ્યો, તો તમે જો આવો. Why we are saying so much here? મુંબઈમાં આટલું નથી બોલતા ઇન્ડિયામાં. Why? UK, the feel is usually we've seen the world over. They look at the stars only. The big star, the small and medium budget film, which are so called, they do not get a window. It's so expensive to release a film there. But we have taken all the risks. We have today, this time, we have gone all out. Then, okay, why this? We do not want to, we want to entertain our viewers world over. It's only this weekend. They have to come out. ગમે એટલી ઠંડી કેમ ન હોય યુકેમાં, તમારી પાસે બધા પાસે જેકેટ ને ગ્લવ્સ ને બધું જ હોય છે. ખાલી આંખો ખોલી રાખીને ચશ્મા આટલા લઈને અને તમારે આવો. This is what our request is to UK viewers.
અમે લોકો બધા દાળ છે. We all are the lentils, and you audiences, you are the chawal, basmati rice. Till we all get together, खिचड़ी नहीं बन सकती.
बिल्कुल.
दाल तैयार है, अब चावल आपकी जिम्मेदारी है कि हमसे मिले और खिचड़ी बनाए.
અભિનયના 9 રસ હોય છે, એમાંથી સૌથી અઘરો રસ હાસ્ય રસ. એ પરપેટ ખીચડી too much. પરપેટ.
Yeah.
Oh wow, amazing. No, I think it's so highly necessary, especially on an occasion of Diwali, because I always say that it's great seeing the event films, but we need comedy, we need humor, we need to laugh, we need to feel like that warm hug, saying that life is okay, you're fine. And I think khichdi has always been that comfort for not just me.
Yes, khichdi is definitely the warm hug.
Yes.
For sure, definitely. Well, look, I mean, fortunately we've run out of time, but it's been such an honor to have literally every one of you. I mean, I feel like literally the childhood me would be smiling so much just seeing this. If the younger Anuj was watching this, he'd be extremely happy. So I'm so thankful to the entire team for making this possible.
We love being with you. Anuj, it was great being with you. Thank you so
Nice
much.
talking to you. Nice.
Thank you so much. Wishing you all the very best for Khichdi too.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I
you.
will definitely be
Watch and
sharing.
let us know what you feel.
I will definitely drop you a message for sure on it, for sure.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao, Joe.
Bye.
Bye, bye.